Welcome to Becoming Saiyans.
A Dragon Ball rewatch podcast.
And we're back. I'm Truman.
And I'm Jesse.
And this is Becoming Saiyans, a Dragon Ball rewatch podcast. On today's episode, we watched episodes 81, 82, and 83 titled Goku Goes to Demon Land, The Rampage of the Ino Shakacho, and Which Way to Papaya Island. The Goku Goes to Demon Land came out in Japan September 30th, 1987. America, December 2nd, 2002. Rampage of Ino Shakacho, October 7th, 87, and December 3rd, 2002. And Which Way to Papaya Island, October 14th, 87, and December 4th, 2002. Jumping into a bit of differences from the manga and trivia. As with the last two episodes, the entire events of this episode were exclusive to the anime in the Demon Land one. This is the first episode to use music from the Sleeping Princess of the Devil's Castle. In addition to this, many demons look like the demons from that movie. The Japanese version, as Goku enters the demon realm, Melee informs him that he needs a permit from Ema-san or Kami-sama to freely pass. This is the first mention in the of those two in the anime, which we won't see until way later in the show. But they don't mention that in ours, so that doesn't matter. The Demon Realm makes its debut here and is not brought up again until way later down the line, towards the end of the Dragon Ball Z show.
It's really funny that he goes to Demon Land and then just completely forgets about it for like
probably 200 episodes. Yeah, 200 or so episodes. This episode marks the last appearance of Launch's bad form wearing her original outfit and the original Dragon Ball. However, she doesn't wear the fingerless gloves. But this won't be seen again until sometime in Dragon Ball Z. For the Rampage of the Ino Shakacho, the differences from the manga is it's all exclusive to the anime. These two characters make their early debut in this episode, and technically so does their master, because he's shown in one of Roshi's pictures. They say the names here, but I'm not saying it because they haven't said it in the show yet.
They have said his master's name, but I completely forgot to write that down.
They didn't say the master's name. They said Swan was his name, not his actual name.
Not his actual name, but that was. But yeah, he said he trained with Swan, who also had Ino Shikasho.
Yeah. Krillin and Yamcha are seen wearing partial versions of the Turtle School outfit with a sleeveless white undershirt, following Bulma's nightmare of Goku. In the Blue Water dub, while Ino Shakacho grunts after befriending Goku, those were all performed by Dean Galloway. Most of his earlier ones were attacked when he's attacking the first village, were handled by Steve Olsen, and then two more were later handled by Adam Hunter during the Ling Shang village raid. And then Which Way to Papaya Island, spoiler alert, completely exclusive to the anime. The boy who lost his balloon has a resemblance to Shinseki from the Goku's Traffic Safety, as well as Shokin from Goku vs. Sky Dragon. This is the last episode where Goku wears Shu's outfit. He first used it following the Turtle School outfit getting destroyed in the Pilaf episode. The Boar Thug looks like one of Husky's followers from back in that episode. The man whose head Goku stood on to find his friends at the 21st Martial Arts Tournament can be seen behind the ladder when he reaffirms Konkichi about his plan to run to Papaya Island. The security guard who Konkichi gives the tickets to resembles the police officer that Goku ran into in the Capsule Corporation.
He's probably Canadian again.
Yep. In the English dub, Pure Launch says she doesn't want to go to the tournament because the city air being bad for her sinuses. In the Japanese version, it was her skin she was worried about. Konkichi's aspirations to be a teacher are in English only dub, and the officer who arrests Konkichi is voiced by Philip Wilburn, and he also voiced a character named Koichi Zingata in Lupin 3. The city name of Tokyo can be seen on the airport display screen as one of the trivia pieces here. And as far as trivia goes, that's all we got here. So, previously on Dragon Ball. Goku runs into an old lady who tells him about some demons that are attacking a castle. So Goku's like, demons? Let's fight them. And so he goes and talks to the king. The king tells him, yeah, there's just one really bad demon down there. He kidnapped my daughter. Can you go save him? Goku runs into it, goes heads off to fight them, and runs into a couple named Melee, and I think Golo was the other name, or Golu, something like that.
Something along those lines.
They help him get to Shula, which is the leader of the demon group down there, who had left the door open so the demons could come through. Goku beats him up, releases the sword, saves the princess, and returns home. End of story. In the next one, Goku is again traveling when he runs into some people running away from a monster called the Shikacho. And they got him. They're really scared. Goku's like, "Hey, that sounds like a big tough monster. Let's fight him." But when he gets there, there are also two other martial artists that are there who have already solved the problem. But turns out they were working a hustle with the Shikacho to get money and food, and just going from village to village, pretending to rampage. Then them easily beating him, but saying that they killed him, rinse and repeat. Goku brings it into that plan and moves on to the next episode.
But not before he's falsely accused of being the one doing it.
Yeah, not before. There's antics ensue. Goku, but Goku, in the end of the day, prevails, but also is very wondering about who these two martial artists are. And then jumping to the next episode, he has made it to a city, it seems like, runs into a guy named Konkichi.
Well, he runs into him before he
in the forest. They go to he saves him from some people who are beating him up. Konkichi's like, I owe you a life debt. Let's get you to wherever you need to go. Decides he's going to steal some tickets, but then runs into a cop, so he gives those tickets back. Then they go get some money, and they're heading that way to meet up with everybody. Like, you get back to the airport when Konkichi and antics ensue, and Baba shows up, and then basically, Konkichi gets framed for robbing a bank, but, Goku kind of proves his innocence with him, and Goku takes off swimming to Papaya Island. And that's what you've missed on Dragon Ball. Jesse, go for it.
These are good episodes. I mean, they're fun episodes. It's obvious that we're just filling the gap. As we've said last episode, I think, when this all kind of started.
Yeah.
It's like we're just filling the gap between these 3 years. It even starts the last episode here, episode 83, with hey, it's been 3 years since Goku started his 3-year journey, and now he's getting ready to go take on the World Martial Arts Tournament, but he's got to get there first. It's pretty much how it starts.
But that's the whole point of these episodes, is just to get us from point A to point B with some fun little stories.
Yeah. Instead of just fully time skipping, let's pad for time, I guess.
Yeah, let's give them. Instead of just being and now 3 years have passed. Now at least you see the 3 years pass in this time frame, and that's an important thing to have happen.
I think the funniest part is also that it doesn't really seem like Goku has grown a lot in these 3 years.
Yeah, he's still kind of stunted in the growth. He hasn't hit a growth spurt yet. Is kind of what's going on here, it seems. But in general, like I talked about last episode on our podcast, these episodes that are just kind of random one-off adventures, they remind me a lot of shows when we were little, like Ben 10, Danny Phantom.
It's just an anthology.
Yeah,
show, where you show up, you solve a problem in one episode. Sometimes you span it to 2 if it's a big problem. Yeah, and then you rinse and repeat.
But we also still have an overarching story because we know there's a timeline before the next tournament. So that's why I bring up the Ben 10 or even the Teen Titans. I know I'm throwing out a lot of Cartoon Network shows right now.
But that was mainly what we grew up watching at this time when we understood plot points and stuff.
Yeah. Like Danny Phantom, there was overarching plots, but for the most part, every episode he got reset back to 1. Ben is the same way. In general, there was an overarching story, but normally every episode he'd be reset back to the bratty kid. All lessons that he learned were gone. And that's kind of what it seems like. Goku's learning and growing, but every episode, he's right back to where he was. In fact, one of my first notes is, if I had a nickel for every time Goku wanders up to an old lady who expositions at him about his next adventure, I'd have 2 nickels.
In the last 2 episodes.
In the last 2 episodes, back to back, basically, just old lady. hey, there's something crazy going on. You shouldn't go there. Oh, there's something crazy going on. I have to go fight it. Okay, whatever you want to do, man.
I must overcome this crazy
Yeah.
with my own crazy, called punching it until it's gone.
But before we even get to that point, the intro to this the first episode, kind of crazy, kind of creepy, kind of unsettling, especially for like a start to one of these one of these
like one-off episodes.
Yeah, like it sets the tone that like this has got some creepy.
And you
stuff.
said it came out around October.
I can go back and recheck, but I believe so. Yeah.
I think all these. I heard October at least on one of these, but I think it might have been. It was if it's the Japanese release, it makes sense.
Yeah, it wasn't for the American because we were in December when these came out over here. So
yeah, I think you said October.
I'm going right back in to check. Yeah, this one was September 30th, so it was right before October.
Yeah, so all these started coming out in October. So it makes sense that you had a little creepy episode to begin this, and
yeah,
especially as a one-off. I'm sure it would have been nice to be able to time it up, but it wasn't the final adventure because the final adventure was obviously him heading off to the tournament. So you slid it in there slyly, and I really enjoy the opening. It was like a cold open, I guess as we'll call it, is fun in Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
it's nice to have it when you have these one-off episodes. You're like, okay, let's set up, in about 30 seconds to a minute before the title card flashes. Let's figure out what our problem might be.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the episodes with Sabrina from the Pokemon anime. I know I'm just referencing other stuff, but like the episode where you first run into Sabrina, or in like you're dealing with like the Ghastly Haunter, Gengar family, and all that stuff, has a similar vibe to this, where it opens with like small child, creepy stuff going on, which is like it's not scary per se, but I can see like I got that level of creepiness to it where it's like what is going on,
It's just a Halloween episode.
Yeah, kind of got those Halloween vibes.
And if there's one thing I'm a sucker for, it's nice, like it's well done holiday episodes. Yes. Whether it's Halloween, Valentine's Day, it doesn't matter what holiday. Even if it's a holiday I don't like, which there's not really any holidays I don't like, but there are some that I'd like less.
Yeah.
It's fun to see them.
Halloween is one of those for me. I'm just not a big fan of it. If we're power ranking, that's probably low on my list.
I enjoy Halloween. The only thing that takes Halloween back, and I enjoy it more because my partner really likes Halloween. It's his biggest one. But also, fun fact about me, Halloween is when I got my official diabetes diagnosis.
And I was
in 8th grade.
And I was 9 when I got my diabetes notice, so I never really got to celebrate Halloween as a kid with all the fun chocolate. Yeah, I got given my own specific basket of candy and said, eat this sugar-free stuff and hurt your stomach later. Good luck to you. And so
I at least gotta have regular candy for a few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, being diabetic, Halloween is one of those times where it's like, how hardcore you go, how much do you want to like screw yourself for the next couple of days? Yeah, sugar wise, but it's a fun holiday. I enjoy it. I like the spirit of it, and that's what sucks is in this day and age, spirit goes away. But we're not talking about Halloween. Mm-hmm. This is not a Halloween podcast.
We're talking about Goku. And just speaking of Goku, him doing like handstand walks while pulling a tree behind him, it was insane work. Like, that is some insane amount of strength.
But it's also the type of thing that absolutely happens when you just tell a person of his strength level and his age to just go get stronger. Yeah, he's going to come up with dumb things like this, and he did.
We don't even know if that would actually do anything, like, honestly, for him. Like, it could just, like, like, that doesn't even help, man. What are you doing?
But you know what? Because he thinks it did, that's more than enough. Yeah. It also almost gets him like shot at.
Yeah.
Because he's doing this when he rolls into town, the town that's being haunted by demons, and people see what looks to be a small demon on its hands dragging a giant tree behind it.
Yeah.
Of course, you're gonna assume it's a demon.
Yeah, I mean that would be probably one of my top guesses. But Goku eventually convinces him, and even convinces an old man to take him to the king. King feeds him, which is a good point. I always put that on. I'm like, good thing they fed him,
Yep. Now he can't lose.
Yep. And once he's fed, he's completely done. But then the king starts being like, man, are you sure? This kid looks so unserious. He's not taking this seriously. You just brought a kid in here to be a fool in my house. Guards, take him away. And then Goku attacks those guards, and a crazy like spin throw move, and then they all try to body pile him.
He kicks the helmet off of somebody, and I wrote a thing down where like, because you don't see who the helmet is kicked off of, and they don't show like blood or anything right now in Dragon Ball. So I did write a note of like, that guy might be dead. I'm assuming he's not. But, like, Goku could have just, like, snapped his neck and not known.
Yeah. It gave me kind of Mace Windu to Jango Fett vibes. Have you seen?
Yeah. Yep. That's kind of what it reminded me of, too.
Where, like, the helmet just rolls in front of Boba, and Boba's like, Dad, no.
Thankfully, not a reference to... It's not this part of the Dragon Ball. Not a reference to that, because that wasn't out yet.
Yeah, that had not came out yet, but it gave me those vibes similarly. Yeah. But then the king's like, oh, wait a minute, this guy's actually strong. Maybe he can do it.
Maybe he can save my daughter and stop the kingdom from falling to demons.
All right, let's take him to the portal to the demon world. Did you say the pothole to the demon world, Goku says?
This is the portal.
Oh, right, portal, pothole, same thing.
Same thing when I close it.
Another thing that kind of helped the change of heart was they also know who Roshi is. Roshi is not completely unknown to this world in certain aspects.
It's implied that people know Roshi. Because, when Goku was first trying to get to Roshi, like, it was like, oh, I can train with Roshi. I'll just train with him. Because that's who trained my grandpa.
Yeah, but that was because Goku, that's because Gohan had trained with Roshi.
Yeah.
It's not like Bulma was like, I don't know who this old man is. He doesn't seem that important. But, like, this kingdom that's randomly set here in the middle, like, kingdom of what? Like, who is he the king of? I have questions, but we don't have time for them.
It feels like a ye old England-y European thing where it's like, you're just kind of there.
Yeah, but the king of what?
Just straight vibing in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but, like, we know this world has a president. Like, President Doggy.
I'm not going to sit here and debate the geopolitics of the Dragon Ball world, because let's be totally honest, doesn't matter right now.
And it also doesn't make sense. I'll just go ahead and tell you ahead of time. There's one world leader over the entire world.
You know what they can agree on? Zennies is the global economic dollar value.
Well, yeah, because there's only one country. The entire world is Pangea. And there's one president resigning over it. We've talked about this on previous episodes.
Not the entire world is Pangea. Because there's some stuff out there that's not connected to it.
But the entire main continent is Pangea, and the president presides over it and the neighboring islands. The president, like, Stoutland Dog. I don't know if we've seen him yet, but he's there. There's a Stoutland Dog as the president of this country, or this world.
You know what? That's probably why they got kings. We're like, we got a dog president. We gotta have some people having some local leadership.
This week on Dog President.
Bark, 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 bark.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, good one. He said, I'm going to blow up China.
Yep.
No, I'm kidding.
But then we jump to seeing the demons for the first time, and immediately I clocked, like, these demons are... A lot of these background demons are straight up just the demons from the movie. They just reuse the character.
But judging by, like, how well received the movies are half the time, especially the early movies are in the Dragon Ball fandom.
Yeah.
A lot of people watching this episode probably haven't ever watched the movie.
But then
we have, because
that's our thing. But
the average viewership is not going to be like, oh, that's from the sleeping.
That's the guy from the thing.
Sleeping Princess and Devil's Castle.
I even thought Shula looked a little bit like the vampire from the movie. A bit. Like, he was changed some, but it looked like they took the base model of him and then just, like, altered it a bit.
Make him look a little unique. Give him, like, a weird tattoo.
Out of all the characters, he's the most unique and distinct looking one. Even more unique and distinct than Melee and whatever the other one's name was. Gula, whatever it was.
He has, like, maybe 4 or 5 lines of dialogue.
Yeah. But I like that the king is like, he's never lost a fight. And Goku's like, and then Goku's like, whatever. And then I wrote down, he will lose today. But then we cut to the mid-break, and we come back, and surprise, surprise, we get a B plot, a Roshi B plot, where we jump back to see what the gang is doing, which we hadn't done for the first 2 episodes. We just like let Goku do his thing. But these episodes take enough time to give us about 2 minutes of what's going on with the other guys. We forgot we haven't seen Krillin, Yamcha, Roshi, and the gang in a while.
And what we learned is Roshi is mating out for Angry Launch.
And Launch is running that island like the Navy.
And also, surprising no one, Yamcha and Krillin making milk deliveries.
Yeah, they have gone to a different island. They're not even at the they're not at the Kame house. They're on Kame's beach resort that he's been building.
If you've been around long enough, if you watched enough of these episodes, especially these episodes with us, you know what I mean when making milk deliveries. They're doing the training. That's training is delivering milk on this island. And
the island that they're on is the one that I theorized that Roshi's building into like a giant resort island for.
Roshi's the king of the island. There we go.
Yeah,
that's a geopolitical fact.
King Roshi of Roshi's Hotel Plaza.
Welcome to Hermit Island.
Yep. Probably not the best name for it, but we'll workshop it.
The high school mascot is the Turtle Hermits.
Yeah, they're just the turtles.
I was thinking the turtles.
Let's go turtles. Let's go fighting turtles. But that's basic. Then we go right back to Goku, and he walks into Melee and the other guy, and Melee's like, "You can't come in without permission," and Goku's like, "What's a permission?" Which I thought was a good line. What's a permission? What? It felt so much like a trap when they were like, well, "I'll lead you back to him." Like, I don't know if you got that vibe from them. Was that they're just like leading them straight to a trap?
Yeah, but also at the same time, like if there's one thing I know from demons, and this is going to harper back to my D&D thing, it's like demons are always willing to screw other demons over if it means that they can fill the power vacuum. So when Goku shoved Gula, like basically beat Gula without even really having to throw a punch.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
maybe this guy can mess with what Shula's doing.
Maybe this guy can win for us.
Yeah. And then this is where I wrote down, he kind of looks like the vampire of sorts on there.
Yeah.
But then we find out that Shula can fly. He's the first character in this show we've seen fly.
Well, not the first.
Who's the first?
And when he was fighting the dude from
Tao?
The devil man.
Oh, well, flying without wings.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, if we're counting wing flying, we also got the dragon guy from the first tournament saga. Like, he can fly too, but I'm counting, like, flying without, like, extra help. Yeah. Like, Goku flies too.
Flying with obvious hints of flying.
Yeah. Like, Superman-style flying, not with, like, other stuff.
Super speed and super flight.
But I honestly thought Shula seemed kind of strong, but then Goku breaks out the strategy, which I did not expect from Goku at this point. I don't know how you were feeling, but I was like, man, Goku, that's pretty smart. Like, hitting him with the Kamehameha to blind him so that you can fly in and get a hit.
Yeah.
That was a good, strong strategy from him.
And I can't tell if it was a strategy Melee gave him, or Melee just like, I should help make sure the strategy works, because Melee does like
throw her disturb
Shula with like her kunai or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
We'll see.
But at the end of the episode, they all just kind of disappear. Which
he gets the princess back.
He gets the sword out of the door. The door closes. They all sit around, and he's like, "Well, this must have been you." And they're like, "How'd you know it was us?" And he's like, "Well, I mean, I saw the knife thing, you know." And she's like, "Well, yeah, it was us. Anyways, let's all go back to the party." And they just all kind of like vanish into the darkness. Yeah. It was such a weird cut because they take off running, and then it's like it plays like the running away theme from like Pokemon as they just vanish. Yeah. And it's like,
I did find it funny how the animation went with that, where it's just like they just PNG fade into the darkness. I'm like, you know what? Fair enough. It's a filler episode.
Yeah, but the episode's over. People have already turned it on to the next one. Who cares? And in the end, Goku heads off on a next adventure. And that next adventure, Jesse, is against the Inu Shikacho. And we see Goku being kind of smart again to start out, where, you know, because it starts with like a runaway car, no brakes. We find out the brakes were cut or something, and And Goku jumps down, grabs like a piece of like bamboo to like help slow the.
And just kind of like holds it like a slingshot, but doesn't slingshot it.
Yeah, until they like slow down, and then he like just releases it normal.
And then he starts asking him questions, and that's where he finds out, I should go stop this Ino-Shikisho.
I should go fight him. But then we immediately cut back to the B plot with Roshi and everybody. We find out there's some Roshi lore. We got new
Roshi lore.
Yep. We find out, first of all, Roshi had hair, which we already kind of knew. But
Bulma
now Bulma knows. And Bulma thought Roshi was attractive, which I thought was a funny little... Because a funny guy like, who's that young piece of meat? Oh, that was me!
Which is why I think she's in denial of like, no, of course you didn't have hair. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because like, I can't admit that I just called younger you attractive.
Yeah. But then the lore is that he had another student that they were both trained at the same time by a different master.
And the name he gives is Swan.
Yeah.
And Swan's pet or like friend or whatever you want to call him was Ino-Shikisho. And then as it got bigger, Ino-Shikisho started to like rampage more and had like uncontrollable rage. So they kind of had to like leave it somewhere,
release it into the wild, and hope it never come back.
Like...
It's kind of that's what Roshi doesn't really know what happened to the Ino-Shikisho, which we find out like these two mysterious martial artists have him. So like, and we can kind of I'm not like I don't want to put words in your mouth, Jesse, but I feel like we can kind of assume that they are trained by the it's shown in the next episode.
Yes, while watching this episode, when it flashes over and they have like different colored martial arts clothes with a symbol that's pretty similar to what Roshi's rocking,
but different. Yeah, similar but different. Yeah,
it's like okay, these are probably students of the guy that Roshi trained with, who just so happened to be using Ino-Shikisho to just scam people.
Yeah, and so like what we can assume is Roshi thought they just released him to the wild, but meanwhile like Crane was able to like tame him again to some extent, or at least like work out a deal with him to like be friends again. And they're blackmailing towns. These two mysterious fighters who I know the names of, and Jesse immediately once seeing them was like, "Oh, so there's the Funko Pop."
well, there's two. I said two things when I saw them. I was like, "There's definitely the Funko Pop," and I definitely know I have seen the small white one, the smaller white one, robot looking one.
Yeah,
and I don't fully recognize the third eye guy, but I presume he was around when the white one was. The white one just takes more attention because it's a small white person.
Yeah. And plus, like, they don't really... It's, like, it is a, like, pretty easy giveaway that they're going to be important characters because they're the only visually distinct characters in this entire episode.
In all three of these episodes.
In all 5 of these episodes.
That's not, like, the character Goku's mainly interacting with.
Yeah, because, like, even, like, the girl that Goku meets in the village later, like, it's just, like, looks like every other girl he's ran into before, besides like, Chi-Chi.
Yeah,
like,
slightly different little girl Goku has raised up.
Different outfit, same hairstyle, same, like, same voice.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the lore is that Crane apparently also has become his own martial art school, but that him and Roshi are peers, which I think is cool lore. But we find out that, like, these guys, they seem strong, like, when we first run into them, because they beat up the Ino-Shikisho
in, like, one hand.
But then we find out that it was all a ruse. Because, come to find out, plot twist, these guys are bad guys.
Are scamming people.
And they're scamming these villages out of money by pretending to have the Ino-Shikisho, like, destroy everything. And he probably is destroying some stuff. But, like, saying, like, he's going to destroy the whole town unless you hire us. And then they
pay us 100,000 zenny.
And then they also steal some, or not steal, but they're giving some food, and that's the reward that they give to the Ino-Shikisho. Probably other food with the reward money.
And they move on to the next village to do the same thing.
Yep. But then we have Goku running into him, who Goku, in his defense, did not know the plan, did not understand what was going on. He was just like, oh, this is like when I fought Yamcha and Oolong. I beat them up and then they became my friends. Oh, you beat up Ino-Shikisho, now that you guys are friends. Good job. Like, yay. And they're like, you know about our evil plot to do all this nasty stuff. We have to kill you. And then Goku's like, wait a minute. They were doing nasty stuff. They were scamming people. They were lying. They were stealing. these guys are bad guys. But before we get there, Goku's weakness comes back. His only weakness at this point.
Yeah, because he finds out about this plot twist while failing to catch a fish.
Yeah.
Because he smells them cooking food at a campfire. He walks up and they're all eating
the roasted corn.
Campfire corn on the cob around the campfire. Mm-hmm. And so, like...
And honestly, like, it was really bad planning by them because... He didn't know. Like, he straight up didn't know. He literally, even, like, the first thing he says is like, wow, you guys became friends. And I can totally see from his point of view is like, this reminds me of, like, when I fought Yamcha, and then Yamcha and I became friends.
But with no information about Goku, random kid just showed up.
That you've already seen before.
Yeah. That, like, you have seen inklings of before, who you just presume is immediately going to put two and two together and rat you out. Mm-hmm. But you're giving way too much credit to, frankly, a naive person.
Yeah, and this is a part that I enjoyed about the fight. His weakness, like his hunger causing him to be weaker, is the same thing they kind of did with Yamcha. I know I've said it a bunch about that fight, but like Yamcha being able to beat him in that fight was only because Goku was hungry, and it helps because these guys are formidable, obviously. Like, we see, like, at least, like, the tall, three-eyed one, like, be able to, like, you know, he's able to defeat Goku, which doesn't take a lot when he's hungry.
Yeah,
but
granted, he defeats him by missing on a kick, hitting a tree, and the tree falling on Goku, and Goku's too hungry to stop it from collapsing on him.
Yeah, but, like, it's a way to skirt around, since this is a complete filler episode, it's a way to skirt around when these guys will probably meet at some point in the tournament saga.
Yeah.
Like, where it's, you know, he'll be like, I already beat you before, and Goku will be like, yeah, but I was hungry at that point. And then we get, like, an actual fight between these guys, and who knows what happens, who's going to be the strongest, you know? But it's a way to skirt around in this episode where it's a lot of stuff could happen. This could have a lot of meaning, but it ultimately can't have a lot of meaning, you know? Because this is a completely filler episode. Yeah, you can't allow these filler episodes to have wide-standing plot stuff. Because if Goku's not hungry and they have an epic showdown right here, and then 4 episodes later have an epic showdown in the tournament saga, it lessens that second one.
It lessens the second one, and it also is just like, as well as lessening it, you're like, I already know what the answer is. It more than lessens it. It's just like, I don't need to watch this. I already watched this fight 4 episodes ago.
And then this one, where the three-eyed guy beats him, you can always point back and be like, yeah, but Goku wasn't at, like, full strength. So, like,
which it also sets up a possibility of him having false confidence.
Yeah.
Because he's like, well, I've already beat him once in the forest. What's beating him on a tournament stage? Yeah. And then he's like, oh, no, he's hungry.
Yeah. But then we get back to Roshi, and we jump back to Roshi for a bit, and we do actually get a bit of a perv moment from Roshi here. It's not too bad, because Bulma has a nightmare about Goku, like, dying in the forest against the Ino Shikacho, and Roshi tries to get her to kiss him. And it's like, whatever. As far as Roshi perv moments, it's not even all that bad. The more questionable moment is, why was Roshi standing over her bed while she sleeps? Which we don't know if he was or not, but he was already in the room when Yamcha and Krillin showed up.
Which, to be fair, in his defense, she screamed in his house.
Yeah.
And as much as he is a perv, most people, if you scream while in a person who owns his house, the person who's going to get there the fastest is the person who owns the house. Yeah. Because they know the layout of the house, with, like, even when they're half asleep. Yeah. So, like, it is suspicious, but I like to err on the side of Roshi's not that bad all the time.
I will give benefit of the doubt as well. I'm not taking it away. I'm just saying it could be seen as more because Yamcha and Krillin burst in and he's just standing there looking at her. And then Krillin brings up, why do you wear your sunglasses at nighttime? And he's like, that's none of your business. But then we see that Goku recruits another young woman into his cabal and his harem of young girls that all love him. Is another one. And then, you know, that we get back, the Ino Shikacho is attacking another village nearby. Goku runs in to stop them.
Basically screaming, hey, they're scamming you. Like, as they're getting the money and the food. Like, they're scamming you. He's still alive.
But,
watch. And he walks over and tickles Shika show.
Yeah, and he's like, he's awake. And they're like, you were scamming us. But then the three-eyed one is like, no, he's scamming you.
Which, let me be honest real quick.
These villagers are freaking stupid.
These villagers are stupider than Goku.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how is Goku the one scamming you when he's not the one getting the money and the food?
Yeah, even Goku points that out as like, I didn't even take the money, they did.
It's like,
Even if I was scamming you, I'm an awful scammer. You gave the money to them.
Man, I was really bad at math, apparently.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about? Me scamming you? They have your money.
Yeah. But anyways, the three-eyed guy throws a torch underneath the Inoshikacho, being like, look, he'll save them because they're in cahoots together. Even though like Goku saves him because it's the right thing to do. We're not just going to let this guy burn alive here.
Yeah,
we're not going to have roast pig.
Roast Eno.
Yeah. But in the end, Goku and him run away. He kind of like helps him a bit, but we find out he's got some pretty nasty burns. So he's like, I'll take you back to the girl that I befriended at the next town. She'll help you.
Yeah, because she already knows, like, oh yeah, this is a scam.
Yeah, and so then they go that way. There's a big meeting over top of them on the ridge.
They get caught in like a canyon on the way down to the village.
Yeah. And they're about to get, iced out, but when she runs in and says, hey...
When her and the village
elder run in and say, hey...
Goku's telling the truth.
Yeah,
he's not involved.
He's a sweet chicken nugget boy. Leave him alone. And they're like, oh, well, if she says it, it has to be true.
Oh, well, guess we're stupid. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and so, good thing nobody got hurt. That could have been really bad. I'm pretty sure they say that at one point. Yeah. It's like, that could have been worse. We could have killed somebody. It's like, yeah, you could, you freaking idiots.
Thank goodness Goku's like immune to bullets, and Eno seems to be the same as well.
Yeah, at one point he blocks Goku when they're shooting him in the first village. Or in the village.
I think in the introductory part, like, it even shows him, like, he takes bullets multiple times without even a scratch.
Yeah. Which kind of reminded me of, like, the lion from Hercules a bit, where like the Nemonian lion, I think it is, the one that has like impenetrable skin. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I also like to think of like emus in the Emu War.
Yeah.
If you didn't hit them right, like the bullets would just bounce off.
Yeah. But then, end of the day, Goku runs off. Shikacho gets healed and decides to stay at the village and become a farmer. The end. Next episode.
The payoff is death, I presume.
Yeah. The next episode is the last episode with the Papaya. Where's Papaya Island? And 3 years have passed, and Goku has gotten much stronger, but hasn't gotten a whole lot smarter because he kind of falls straight for a scam, but a different type of scam. More like he just like gives a guy a trust that doesn't deserve it. Mm-hmm. This guy's running away because apparently he like messed with the mob. It seems like the animal mob. And he's getting the crap beat out of him when Goku shows up and saves the day. And with that, we find out his name is Konkichi later. But Konkichi is like, I owe you. You're now my brother. You saved me. Let's get you to wherever you need to go. And so they go to the airport, and they're needing to get airplane tickets. But Goku doesn't have money because Goku doesn't carry money on him. He is a monk of sorts.
He's like the fox guy. He's asking like Konkichi. He's like, what? How did you like eat food and like sleep? And Goku's like, what's that have to do with having money?
Yeah, what does money have to do with food and sleep? I just catch my food and I sleep where I sleep.
Yeah, sleep where happens. And he just like face plants basically. Like he's like, what?
Yeah,
dumbfounded. Like, well, that's possible.
Another piece of plot point for this episode is it is the day before the tournament.
Yep. It opens with like, it's been 3 years since Roshi.
And the tournament is tomorrow. But good thing for us, Goku has one lesson left to learn. And it's,
life isn't always how it seems, or something. It's like something along those lines.
And then there was a fun part of this episode where the airplane pilot was flying over, and it was the narrator talking to like the audience about what was going on, being like,
yep.
"Oh, be careful! Watch, the world's about to happen." And it's just like it's supposed to be like an airplane pilot being like he's pulling off the voice of like, "You are now free to move about the cabin."
Yeah.
But he is a bona fide like thief. Konkichi is. He does the whole bump and steal.
a rogue.
A pickpocket.
Yeah, pickpocket. A pickpocket seems better.
Yeah.
Charlatan maybe, but I wouldn't say charlatan because charlatans are more known for like running those street vendor scams.
Yeah, the sleight of hand schemes and stuff. But he more just does like the bump and steal.
The bump and run.
Yeah, bump and run. But then he runs into the police officer from West City, apparently.
Yeah.
We find out what happened after his wild day. He got fired from West City and now is a security guard at the airport or wherever town this is. Because he could not, after he totaled that car with his motorcycle, he got fired from the force.
Now he's an airport TSA agent.
Yeah, now he works for TSA. Before TSA.
Yeah, Dragon Ball security.
Before that even existed, he's just like a random security guard hanging around because this was pre 9/11, baby.
Became Paul Blart airport cop.
Yep. And we find out that Goku, completely oblivious to the one item that he has in his inventory that he could easily call upon to fly across the world.
Well, no, he's not completely oblivious because remember, Roshi told him, "Do not use that. Do not use it."
Yeah, but I would still think if it's got to get across the world fast, he would just do it.
It's Goku. He's not going to disobey a direct order.
I guess, but
if there's one thing we know about Goku, it's he's stubborn and he doesn't disobey when given direct orders.
But another thing is he doesn't even bring it up as like an option. It's like, I could use my cloud, but like Master Roshi, it's like he completely put it away. Like the cloud doesn't exist anymore
because Roshi told him it doesn't exist anymore until he comes back to Roshi. That's my argument. Is like Roshi literally told him, don't even try to use that. You don't cheat.
Yeah.
Don't cheat yourself.
I guess.
And now Goku's not cheating himself.
And I thought the twist here with Kankichi was going to happen right here. Because they go to a carnival, he beats the strongman competition, he hits it with his hand and is able to break through like the braking device.
A kind of important plot point is Kanki is on the way over there, a kid's balloon flies off. And so Goku's like, don't worry, I'll get your balloon because the kid's crying.
Yeah.
Goku just jumps like hundreds of feet in the air, grabs the balloon, comes back down, gives it to the kid, and as he gives it to the kid, there's like someone, I think the balloon guy had like a parrot with him or something, pops the balloon, kid starts bawling his eyes out.
And Konkichi gives him a lollipop.
He gives him a lollipop and makes like silly faces to like improve his mood. And Goku's like, man, you're really good with children.
Yeah, which he is. We find out even later, like he's good with children.
But that's a big plot point because what we find out later.
Yeah. But then Goku absolutely destroys, like, so they're running like a scam on the strongman event, where there's like a breaker that stops it from going above a certain strength no matter how hard you hit it. But then Goku's like, I don't want to use the hammer, and just karate chops it, and it breaks straight through that and flies off into
the reward for winning, because they have to go find 30,000 zenny
so they
to
can
buy 2 plane tickets to Papaya. So the reward just so happens to be 50,000 zenny.
Yeah.
For Goku and Kankichi to win. If Goku wins, it's obviously when I realized it was a carnival, because I wrote down it's a parade, and then they said it's a carnival. I'm like, or a carnival.
Yeah, and it's like I didn't know which one they were going to win all the money, but I knew they were going to win one of them. Like you take Goku to the carnival, and there's going to be some event you can win money.
I immediately was like, okay, this is going to be one of the classic like hammer bell.
Once I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, this makes a lot of sense. But because
that's the classic strongman proving contest at a carnival is like. You just hit a thing, and try to ring the bell. That's especially at this time, because nowadays you have those electronic like punching bag ones or whatever. But like back when this was being written in like the 70s and 80s and stuff, it's like what's your first thought when you think strongman carnival?
Yeah,
bell hammer game.
Yeah. But this is where I thought the twist was going to come, was like Kankichi was going to pocket the money and leave Goku high and dry.
But no, he like legitimately he's actually
he wants to help him, but then Baba shows up and scares him because Baba's able to read exactly what's going on and read right through his BS.
He panics and runs off to go get a soda
to like kind of cool off and hope that Baba will just leave. But she doesn't, and he gets grabbed by the gang who was beating him up, the mob that was beating him up earlier. And
they kind of beat him up a little bit, and they're like, we got a plan for you. Because they still the 50,000 zenny. He's like, this covers just about half of what you owe us.
Yeah, and so then
we got a way for you to get back the other half. And then they said, and like this, we flash back to Goku and Baba, who are sitting in the car, and it's like, man, it's really taking him a long time to like get that drink. It should have taken him this long. And Baba's like, I'm starting to kind of worried about him. And then a bank robbery starts going off.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's going on? And they roll up, and Konkichi has been framed, as he says, for robbing. Which you do find out he was.
He was framed, but at first it's like he just robbed the bank.
He's robbed the bank.
And if you're just watching the show, you're like, well, he robbed the bank for them. Like he didn't. Yeah. He wasn't framed. He did it and gave them the money and took the fall for them. You know. Yeah. But no, he really was framed. Goku uses Baba's power because he like talks her into letting him use the power.
Come on, Papa. This is important.
This is help fix his life. And she's like, whatever, man. Like,
charity service.
Whatever.
Baba charity service thinks what's called.
So Goku sprints after them, catches them, beats the crap out of them, and drags them back. They get arrested, but in doing so, he misses his flight. And so now, what is a boy to do but start swimming across the world?
But before he starts to swim, Konkichi's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life anymore. Like I'm confused. Yeah. And then the kid runs up and like, because Konkichi's sad and like starting to cry.
Yeah, because he felt Goku. He also like has been lying this whole time. He lost the money.
Yeah, and so made Goku miss his flight and everything. Yeah. And so the kid runs up and is like, "You want this? It'll make you feel better," and gives him a lollipop.
And then he's like, "Ooh!" And then Goku brings up like, "You could be a great teacher."
He's like, me, a teacher? And then starts laughing off. And then it ends up...
He's like, oh, that is a good idea. I'll become a teacher.
Yeah. As Goku departs, he's like, I'm going to go to school and become the best teacher in the world.
Mm-hmm. And bye, Konkichi, never to see you again.
And Goku starts swimming into the distance, and that's where we cut fade to black.
Yeah, and we fade to black, and it's time
Next time on Dragon Ball.
And it's time.
And that as he's swimming, we also get the scene of Roshi's...
the B-plot is Roshi and his group getting on the
Roshi getting on the boat, and then his peer on a boat with the two guys that we had assumed were trainees.
I think it's supposed to be the same boat, too, because it's like a boat full of all these other fighters as well. Like, it seems like all the fighters are on the same boat heading to the island.
Gotcha, yeah.
And so, with that, Jesse, it's time to jump into our predictions. Prediction number 1 for Jesse from the last episode is Goku goes to a demon land. That happens.
It does indeed.
Inu Shikacho rampages. That happens, Jesse. He gets directions to Papaya Island. Fortune teller Baba lets that happen, Jesse. You went 3 for 3 on the barest of bare-bone guesses that you could have. But we'll count them.
I learned my lesson from the first 2 episodes of this filler mini arc of the episode names are quite literal. Some of the names you have to think about, like milk delivery, it like tricks you because it's so simple. Yeah. These ones I'm just like, I learned my lesson. They're telling you exactly what's about to happen. It may not tell you exactly how it's going to happen, but they're telling you what's happening. Yeah.
So Jesse, are you ready to hear the super secret answer? Because we already went through your arc predictions from the saga predictions. You ready to hear the name of the next saga, Jesse?
Yes.
The next name of the saga is the Tien Shinhan saga.
Tien Shinhan?
Yeah. That's the name of it. What do you think is going to happen in the Tien Shinhan saga?
I guess I'm gonna guess that it has to deal with it. The overarching plot is Goku in the world fighting championships, the World Martial Arts Tournament. I don't know why I said that was so weird. Ends up having to fight Tien Shinhan's pupils because that's that's Roshi's training peer buddy.
Okay.
That's what his name is. So that's his pupils he's fighting.
Tien Shinhan is the trainer?
Yeah, the trainer.
Okay.
That'd be my guess. It's either that or he's like the small white one.
Is the trainer or the small white one?
I don't think he's Third Eye Man.
Okay. All right.
Just seems like too cool of a name for that guy.
So what do you like? How do you think? What are some other predictions for the saga?
Goku's going to actually win the tournament this time.
Goku wins the tournament? Okay.
Yeah. I think Goku wins the tournament this time.
All right. And then, anything else you got?
Jackie Chun makes a return as a patron.
Jackie Chun is a patron?
Like a fan.
As a fan.
Yeah. I went Masters there. It's Masters week.
Okay.
So, you have to call them patrons. So
okay. All right, so Jesse, jumping into the names of the next 2 episodes, we have Rivals and Arrivals. like rivals and rivals, like arriving. And then the next episode is Preliminary Peril.
So Rivals and Arrivals is like when we're, everyone's meeting up. Goku shows up to the island probably just in time for registration.
Okay.
Because he's swimming to the island.
Yeah, he's
like
gonna get there. He's gonna get there late.
Cut it real close.
Yeah.
But we're gonna show up. Maybe Roshi meets his pupil as like when Goku.
I mean, at his peer.
Like his peer. I don't want to say pupil.
Yeah.
Like Roshi meets his peer and his peer's pupils, and with Goku and Yamcha and Krillin all like, be like, hey, we're trained by Roshi and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
And like that's when they set up the new rivalry. Like, okay, like it's gonna be like
the two.
What is it?
The like
Kung Fu movie. Jackie Chan.
Oh yeah. The Karate Kid.
Karate Kid.
I don't know. You brought Jackie Chan. That's from the second. That's from the remake with Jaden Smith, Jesse.
I know, but he was like, it's been forever since I watched the original.
Okay.
It's been forever since I watched any of those. Honestly, I really need to go back because they're great movies. But like that was where my brain was like, I know he's in one of them. I know it's not the original, but he's in there. But yeah, it's like comes in like a Karate Kid situation. Like, well, my dojo's gonna do better than your dojo.
Okay.
We're gonna win. It's like a dojo rivalry.
Okay. All right, and then the next one was Preliminary Peril.
Preliminary Peril. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Preliminary Peril is, and I hate to do this to my boy, but I think it's starting to happen. Yamcha starts to struggle in the preliminaries. I'm guessing it's either Yamcha and Krillin, and I feel too bad predicting Krillin in front of your face. So I'm going to say Yamcha's going to struggle.
Okay.
I'm willing to be wrong for your pride.
Okay.
For your pride and happiness, I guess I should say.
Thank you. So that's going over it. The Tien Shinhan saga, the predictions for the saga from Jesse is Goku is in the World Martial Arts Tournament and fights Tien Shinhan's pupils. Tien Shinhan is either the trainer or the small white one. That's a second guess. The first guess is dependent on the second guess being right, at least on the one. Goku wins the tournament, and Jackie Chun returns as a fan.
Yeah, I either get both of the first two guesses right, or I only get one of them right because I'm really betting on it not being Third Eye Man. Yeah, is Tien Shinhan.
Jumping into the two episodes, we have intros for the tournament. Goku gets their last moment. Roshi meets his peers and meets his peer and his peer's pupils.
I should say Roshi and the gang meet.
Yeah. They set up the new rivalry, and Yamcha struggles in the prelims.
Yep. All
right. So Jesse, what was your worst part of these 3 episodes we watched?
I just say because I'm tired. I was really tired now. I'm not gonna cop out and say that, but I've had a really long day that started like 6 o'clock this morning after not sleeping very well. So I've been pretty tired all day.
If you want, I'll go first.
But no, I think you said it was the worst part?
The worst part. We're doing worst part first.
I mean, I'm not really going to give it to the Roshi perv moment because it's actually like just so mild and like just a funny one-off joke.
I just brought it up because like if we don't, it wouldn't be there.
It'd be like, oh my goodness, they didn't say something about it.
Yeah.
No, like if I'm giving it to anything, I guess it's just kind of like how stupid the villagers are in the second episode.
That is
what
a
are
great
you doing?
bad part. Yeah.
Like it's like it's so obvious Goku's not the one scamming you. He's not the one taking your money.
Yeah. For me, the worst part is just the reused character models because they didn't care about the animation in these episodes.
I'm fine.
I didn't bring it up as like a rant because, like, again, these episodes are as middle of the pack as they come. Yeah. Like, as far as I'm concerned, there's not a best part or a worst part to any of these episodes. There's nothing in these episodes that are of note, really.
Like they're fun.
They're enjoyable episodes, but they are solid 7s.
On a rewatch, I'll just like skim. Through them.
Yeah, they're solid.
I'll skim to my favorite parts of them.
They're solid 7s for me, and so like that would be my
I don't
thing.
even go as far as saying like they're 6.5.
Yeah, but like they're just solid episodes. There's nothing good. There's nothing bad. So my worst part would just be the reused character models because they didn't care because they're all filler, completely exclusive to the anime, and they're just like whatever. We'll just use whatever we got. Nobody watched our movie anyways. Moving on to best part, Jesse. What's your best part?
Honestly, like the sneaky introduction of the next. What I'm already assuming is the next big rival of the tournament. That was a really fun way to introduce them.
Yeah, I also enjoyed that, and I'm to one up your point. My best part is that we get introduced to them, but we don't get their names yet.
Yeah, that's a great part. It's like you still keep an air of mystique about them, but like you can tell they're going to be important for a little while.
Yeah,
at least for the next probably 15 to 20 episodes, I would guess. I don't know how long the tournament arc is.
At least through the next tournament saga. I didn't check it, but between throughout the next saga, like they're going to be there. We can only assume. We don't know how much longer after that. If they join the squad, anything about that, we're not there yet.
They come back at any point in time later.
Yeah, we're not doing any of that yet. So
I want to assume they might be semi-recurring through the rest of Dragon Ball, mattering on how the tournament arc goes.
Yep.
I guess.
14, right now. 16. There are 18 episodes for the next saga.
Yeah, so I mean, probably for the next solid 18 to 20 episodes, I'm gonna guess.
Yeah,
because they might like have like some going away wisdom or something towards the beginning of the next saga.
Yeah, and my favorite part is because these are complete filler. They can't break anything. They can't have Goku lose. Which is good. They can't tell us anything important about these characters. Really, they can only foreshadow a bit at the end of the next episode, or of the third episode, about like the connections and everything. They kind of set it up, and if you're smart and know a bit, you can kind of tell a bit about what's going on. But you don't, they don't tell you it. It's not beating you over the head. Like, these guys are trained by that guy that Roshi knows. And they're probably going to be important in the next bit. It's just like, yeah, Roshi knows a guy. He had control of the inner Shikachou and, got the other stuff going on. And I like it because there's no stakes, but there is a lot of stakes, but there also isn't any stakes, know. And because of that, they can't break canon and have Goku know their names too early, so they get kept as mysterious, but they do give you a hint of what they're about.
It's like it's like a free sample at Costco standing right next to the actual product.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm throwing in my cart now.
And with that, we're coming to the end here. So thank you very much for listening to us. I hope you can download, subscribe, rate, review, share us with your friends. You can reach out to us at becomingsaiyans@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, and on TikTok at becomingsaiyans_pod. Reach out to us on any of those platforms. We would love to hear from you. We'd also enjoy getting a rating from you guys if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Giving us a positive rating really does help get us out to as many people as possible. It boosts the algorithm. It gets our names more in the algorithm as like, oh, these guys have 28 reviews.
I know how tiring it is to hear algorithm all the time. As someone who watches a decent amount of YouTube, watches a decent amount of stuff on other platforms, I'm like, I know how annoying it is. We're like, don't forget to like and subscribe so I can be pushed in the algorithm and all this stuff. I'm like, people talk about it all the time, but it is helpful, especially for a smaller upstart type stuff. Yeah.
And if you're wanting to ever have us have video, that would be a good start, is getting us boosted in the algorithm so we can start monetizing this and paying for a studio for us to have set up for
or video. Even just I guess the stretch goal would be recording equipment.
Yeah, any of that stuff.
We have the recording equipment, but a camera recording equipment.
But until next week, I've been Truman.
And I've been Jesse.
And the journey continues.
Bye!